Thanks for listening to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
And we are a podcast about all things strange and unusual, death and UFOs, and other creepy,
Cults,
weird, random
ghosts.
stories. There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm just naming things in the room.
Oh my God.
There's a cult of ghosts. Ray Gun Radio presents
Middle Aged and Mediocre.
Two friends go hiking in the Rattlesnake Canyon of Carlsbad, New Mexico. Only one makes it out alive. Welcome to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm not good at this. I'm Joel.
I'm Cash.
I'm good at some of it.
That was a fine intro.
Oh, that was awesome.
So we're going to Rattlesnake Mountain, apparently.
Rattlesnake Canyon.
Rattlesnake Canyon.
That sounds like a Matchbox thing. Was that the Rattlesnake Mountain?
Like it would be like a pretty cool Hot Wheels little playset.
Yeah, Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man,
Rattlesnake
I would like
Canyon
Hot
is where we're
Wheels.
going.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where we're going to end up. We're going to start off a little back in Massachusetts.
I've been there a few times, Massachusetts. Never have, actually.
I've never been there either. I've heard of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, though.
Who?
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. You like
ring-
apples?
Doesn't ring a bell.
I got her number. How you like them apples?
Yeah. How about them? How about them apples?
So this is, hey, what's going on? I was going to jump right into the story because I don't know how to
Not a whole lot.
to drive an episode.
Nothing's really happening in the world right now. Yeah, there's really nothing.
I know. I wish there was some news story we could talk
There's
about.
nothing really newsworthy happening.
No.
Everybody's super chill.
Yeah, getting along fine.
Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah. 2021 is just like everything opposite of 2020, finally.
I find it super weird that, like, when the numbers changed, life didn't change. It's almost like the numbers are made up and don't matter.
Like time.
And,
is
like,
just,
time's just, like, a construct, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Fuck time.
Yeah, shit's
There
crazy.
was that thing at the Capitol.
I don't know, like, our capital, like West Virginia's capital?
No, in D.C.
They finally painted not gold?
Not gold. That was the color they chose, not gold.
Yeah, I heard about that whole D.C. thing.
Uh-huh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty.
No one really got. Well, that one lady got shot.
I think 4 or 5 people died.
4 died. One Capitol police officer died to make it 5.
One guy tased himself in the balls.
Yeah, I hope
heart
that's
attack.
true.
That's the one I'm gonna laugh at.
He was trying to steal a painting, supposedly.
I
and
think
the
so.
taser was in his pocket
Like
and tased his balls.
I'm not gonna laugh.
I could
at the
go
other
for a little
ones.
ball tasing right now. You know, it's been a while since anything's been done to my balls.
Well, it's hilarious because I saw the picture of the guy.
Uh huh.
And he's like in his living room. He's got like 2 big giant
His
assault
name's
rifles.
Randy, isn't it?
I don't remember now. It might be. That might be it.
I did see that picture. He's got like the 2 big guns, like another gun
Another
on
one
his
on
hip or something. Yeah.
So he reminded me so much of like one of my former bosses, and we used to always joke because he was he all of a sudden became this like, bought a gun, made sure he told everyone that he had a gun, was always like showing people his gun, and was always calling himself was always saying he was going to go hunt ISIS.
Oh my god.
Like just ridiculous shit. But we always used to and he had a taser all the time too.
Uh-huh.
And we always used to joke that like if somebody would actually like break in while he was there, he'd be scrambling for the gun and the taser and would shoot his dick off or tase himself in the balls. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, I wonder if that's my former boss.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Randy.
But
Wasn't Randy.
Could have been.
They're finally starting. I like how they're trying to track people down to arrest him now. Like, you could have arrested him there
Right.
at the Capitol when they were taking their photo ops and all their pictures and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if the Capitol Police don't have the authority to arrest people or...
What a fucking shit
Is. Yeah, all around shit show.
Trump's been permanently suspended from Twitter.
Yeah, apparently so.
I don't follow him.
That dude's going to be lost.
Any Trump is more than Trump than what I need to hear or see. Or
Plus, you're always, people are always going to retweet it. Well, not now, but I mean before, you didn't have to follow the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You saw everything he posted anyways.
Yeah. Or like the thing where it says this tweet has been.
Yeah.
That's what I was used to see. They'd retweet it or whatever, but then by that time, Twitter took it down. So
the world's the country. This country is in chaos.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting time. I mean, like we grew up. I think both of us grew up like seeing this happen other places.
Yeah.
And it's just always one of those things where like, man, that's crazy. Like,
not here.
You know,
like it happened during work too. And I was like, do we just work while the Capitol is being taken over?
That's kind of.
That was such a weird thing.
It is.
Like I just wanted to sit there and like watch it and just see what was unfolding and everything, but like then I'd have to go out and like deal with patience and act like the world wasn't burning around us.
That's how I was when the like protests and stuff were happening earlier, like in 2020. Like I mean, it stretched on for however many weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially at the beginning, you're just like, are we all supposed to just be going about our lives?
Yeah.
Like.
It's like they're watching it like it's just a TV show. It's not real, like it's just.
Yeah, there's still that little bit of separation for you if it's not happening like right in your city or whatever.
Do you think this stuff's gonna start happening? Because they said now what's gonna happen, or what they're feared happen, is like all the local idiots are gonna go to like I guess it already happened in Columbus, where some people went to like the Capitol building in Columbus. like.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get. Pretty bad. So like. Trump's Twitter being taken away. I've already seen a lot of like Trump supporters I've seen it online, like where a lot of started to like turn their back on him because he came out with that speech where he like kind of actually said
he was gonna try to make it smooth for the transition.
Yeah. Like so, like there's already a lot
be at the inauguration. Like, oh man.
Yeah, there's already a lot of people that I think are, but. This, I mean, like, everything that's been going on, like, it's no longer about Trump.
Yeah.
Like, that dude lit the fire, and
Trump, opened the door for people's hatred.
Yeah, so he's stepping back.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people in government right now who are going to pick up the mantle that he left.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. Like, as soon as January 20th comes and goes, we're going to see the Trump network start up, I'm guaranteed.
Yeah.
Or, like, OAN News or OAN Network will be Trump's channel. Something's going to happen. The dude's going to have a platform, and he's not going to stop his rhetoric. Or there's going to be people that pick it up. So I don't know. I think we're in for a lot of shit.
Yeah, 2021 is not going to be much better. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to.
Oh man.
I mean, I think we're in for like a pretty rough 10-year stretch.
Yeah.
Like this shit doesn't just like go away quietly.
No.
Like,
because these people have been like emboldened now. I feel.
Yeah.
How do you? They can't retreat. They don't have that in them to be like, oh, we were wrong.
Right. So like
people are just doubling down and just digging into what they believe and what.
Yeah, the best you can hope for is that they don't ever realize that they're like you said, they're not going to realize they were wrong. So the best you can hope for is that they do realize that they can't accomplish what they think they can accomplish.
Yeah.
So they just sort of continue on with just being filled with hate.
Hopefully just no one gives them a platform for it.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, like usually whenever, like a government building like the Capitol or whatever, when it's getting stormed, and when shit like that's happening, it's happening in other countries, and like a lot of the times the U.S. is involved.
Yeah.
Whether the CIA or whatever, like we've either instigated it, we are a part of it, like we're using it for our gain, and now like it's happening here, and I just feel like there's like a lot of times this leads to big, anytime that kind of shit happens, it always leads to bigger things.
Yeah.
So I don't see it just being like next week, just all right. Well, that was a fucking crazy thing that happened, right?
I mean, maybe it is helping, I guess, that they're arresting these guys, women and men. I mean, arrest them, make examples out of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Trump said himself, if you destroy, like
federal
10 years, 10 years in prison. So fucking get all these people in jail for 10 years.
I think, them not being arrested at the Capitol, as ridiculous as that is, I don't know how many Capitol, like how many police were there. I know the National Guard came in, but I do wonder who made the call, if the call was made, to not make arrests or whatever, and we will get them when we can go, and
they weren't wearing masks,
and they're by themselves or at their homes, and they're not surrounded by 3,000 other ones.
It's probably hard to arrest somebody when you got 10 of their friends right there. Probably
they didn't seem to have a problem with it during the protests and shit. Grabbing people off the streets.
Yeah, just literally standing there for peace, and they would just...
Yeah, so who? I don't fucking know.
World's a shit show.
Yeah, and it's only going to get crazier until something happens. I don't know what, but...
Feels good!
But we're living in it. So, at least we're alive. Unlike, I think, whatever story... Someone in the story you've...
Yeah, someone dies in my story. And I'm not sure how alive I am either. But let's get into this. This is a story of two best friends driving across the country.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about David Coughlin and Raffi Kodikian. They were best friends. The pair met while they were attending separate colleges in the Boston area. They were introduced by Raffi's girlfriend at the time, Christy Swan. And the pair met in 1996.
Okay.
Raffi was going to Northeastern University of Boston, and David Coughlin was attending University of Massachusetts. That's such a weird word for me to say. Amherst.
So Massachusetts.
Yeah, they're around that area.
Okay.
It's 96. They're during college. They like to go out in bars and play pool. Raffi played drums in a band. Raffi and Christy lived together, but the three of them did a lot of stuff together. They were like that, that core group of friends that just like to hang out, doing the college thing, and all right.
I never did the college thing.
I didn't either.
I mean, I did, but online, so it doesn't count.
I never did. I had the same drug dealer all for his college career.
Kind of.
I mean, yeah.
You basically
I put him through college, yeah. I started at the dorms, and then like the next little shitty flop house kind of deal, and then the nicer apartment, and then like his, polished place. Like I lived through all that.
Well, it's nice that you've helped someone achieve
yeah, and I don't have any of the debt.
Nice things in life.
Yeah, I don't have any of the debt. Just a crushing addiction to marijuana.
Yeah, well, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So they both graduated from college, because apparently that's what you do. And after graduation, David became a traffic policy analyst. Which, whoa, slow down, buddy.
That doesn't sound like a real job.
What, traffic policy analyst? That's what you go to college for? No,
I don't feel like enough traffic policies change for the need of an analyst. Like, what's changed in the past
like a pretty cushy job, then.
50 years?
And although Raffi wanted to be a writer, his first job out of college...
He wanted to be what?
A writer.
I think he said a rioter.
Oh,
and I was like, he just had dreams of being a writer.
He was too early. He was 24 years too early.
Okay, a writer.
Raffi wanted to be a writer,
okay,
but his first job was at a financial company, and he worked in the correspondence department. So I guess he would write letters like, "Dear person, pay us our fucking money."
So he got to be a writer, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. But Raffi still had his passion for writing, and even had a couple articles in the Boston Globe. And soon after graduation... Yeah, but then after graduation, David decided he wanted to move back to California, where he was from, to go to graduate school.
Fucking David.
Yeah. But before that happened, Raffi and Kristen broke up. And although they all stayed friends, the three of them, Christy said that probably made Raffi and David even closer. Because, Dave was there for Raffi. Like, going after the breakup and everything. So they became really, really good friends. And, Raffi even later said that, David was the closest thing that he had to a brother. Which really pissed his brother off.
Right.
No, I don't.
Like, oh, that's cool, man. I'll go fuck myself now.
Yeah. So, like I said, David decided he was going to go back to where he came from, California. He decided he was going to drive cross-country to California. He was going to... probably have it here somewhere. University of California, Santa Barbara.
All right.
He was going there to pursue a master's degree in environmental science.
Okay.
But he was getting really excited about the trip. He was talking about a lot, and then that got Raffi excited about it. So they decided they were going to do it together. Take this trip across the country, get David out to California. David's girlfriend was out there waiting. He had his whole life ready, waiting for him when he got there.
Kind of like it's basically the plot to the Wizard.
Yeah,
or whatever.
just not any video games.
Just they got to get that kid across the goddamn country.
And Raffi was excited because, like I said, he did some articles, and what he wrote about was traveling in the Boston Globe. His hero was Jack Kerouac.
Right.
Kerouac.
Jack. Yeah.
Hey, Jack, if you're listening, man, I'm sorry. And that was his hero, of course. He wrote On the Road. And so, like, they decided Raffi would go with them.
Let's go Raffi.
Go Raffi.
Going to California.
One of his articles, and because one of his articles he wrote, Raffi, he traveled through 25 states over a 10-week stretch for the article, you know, like just writing about his travels and stuff. And in the article he said, I have traveled through deserts, grasslands, mountains, prairies, swamps, rain and sandstorm. My trip has been dripping on my tires. Wait, I don't know what I wrote there.
He's been through swamplands and he said deserts.
Yeah, deserts, prairies. 10 weeks on the road, 25 states. He says this trip has been dripped on his boots and seared into my memory as one of the greatest experiences I could have imagined. And God willing, I'll get the chance to do it again. So here was his chance.
All right.
He's going to be doing it with his best friend, Dave. And he figured that he could go and just maybe get an article out of it, hang out with Dave, all that fun stuff. So they took off, and their first stop...
I'm sure the Boston Globe has offices in California, so he could just like go work there.
Yeah, it's a globe. They got Boston. Right. They got them all over the world. That's what a globe is.
It's the global Boston.
Yeah, it's a world. So they took off out of Boston, and their first off was at Raffi's hometown of Boylestown, Pennsylvania. And the following day, they drove to Virginia to see Dave's sister. From there, they went south to Tennessee. And they had a journal that Dave's girlfriend had given them. And it was like one of the few things they actually, had with them. You know, like most of his stuff, Dave's stuff was already out there. It was just getting Dave there, you know. But they had a journal to kind of, just make entries, like a diary of the trip. And most of their days, they consisted of driving all day. Then they would get somewhere and they would play pool and drink. That's what they liked to do. You know, they were both really good. Pool. Raffi was a real sociable guy. Dave was kind of more of like the laid back follower type. And so they would play pool at night, drink beer. And along the way, they made stops in Nashville, Memphis, and New Orleans, usually staying at campsites along the way.
Good call.
And by the fifth day, they made it to Austin, Texas, and that was where David's uncle lived. And it was in Austin, talking to David's uncle, they decided to go to Carlsbad, New Mexico. They have some famous caverns, I guess, in the Rattlesnake Trail area. So they decided they were going to go there to New Mexico, camp there, and then go on to California.
I've heard of Carlsbad for some reason.
I don't think I have. I think isn't there like a cartoon Carl's... I don't know.
No, I've heard of it was Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Yep, Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I know that I've heard of that before.
Maybe you've heard the story. The story it's pretty famous at the time, I think.
Okay.
And I read it in a Maxim magazine, like way back when Maxim kind of first started, and it always stuck with me.
It's weird if I do know this story, and the only thing that kept in my brain was Carlsbad. I was like, never gonna forget that.
Carlsbad. Okay. So they arrived at the visitor center around 3 p.m. and they had to get out. They had to fill out some permits and stuff. Let them know that their car was parked there, how long they planned on, hiking. And again, the plan was just to hike in, camp, hike back to the car, drive to California. And they talked to the ranger, and the ranger suggested that they take a gallon of water each for each day. Like that's they're recommended for when you're going to be in the desert.
Right.
And he went over the rules. And the rules were no campfires and pack out what you pack in, which means don't leave any trash behind or anything.
Okay.
But the pair headed off down the trail with only 3 bottles of water and 2 bottles of Gatorade, about 25% of what they actually would need for one day.
Wow.
Yeah, not the smartest.
So yeah, because they're in New Mexico now, right? Okay.
Yeah. They're not in Boston anymore.
So pretty sure it's probably warm.
Yeah, it got to like 110 degrees during the day.
Okay.
I mean, this is Wednesday, August 4th, I think.
Okay.
When they show up at the get in Carlsbad.
So it's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
About not topical map. What's it called?
Like topographical.
Topographical
Yeah.
map. They bought one of those, although neither one of them really know how to read it. But like, we should probably get this. And then again, this is spoiler alert. David's the one that dies, so this is like all this is pretty much coming from Raffi.
Okay.
So I mean,
this is like Raffi's story.
Yeah, this is Raffi's like I read there's a cool documentary on YouTube about it. I read the Wikipedia page. There's a LA Times article about it that I read as well. You know, and it's all pretty much the same, you know, but obviously like David can't tell what happened. So to get to the trail, this is something that I found too. Like one story said it was 1 mile, one said it was 3, but they had to drive from the visitor center 1 mile to 3 miles to like where they would park and start hiking.
Okay.
So they get to their trail, they start hiking, and it's probably about 5 or 6 by then. And they're losing daylight, and they're kind of hiking really fast, just straight ahead, trying to get to a campsite.
Right.
And when you're hiking out there in some of these wild areas, they have like what's called cairns, where it's like stacks of rocks, and it's supposed to let you know like where to turn, you know, kind of
like a path.
Yeah, so you kind of know where you're going and all that stuff. But they were looking for like a man-made campsite.
Okay.
And so they kept like just turning corners. I'm like, all right, well, let's turn this next corner, and they'll be there. And they would make another little S, as they would call it, and there would be nothing. And well, there was nothing because it's complete total wilderness. Like in the desert, they don't have like you go to Mount Wood here. Mount Wood's our local, you know, little park area. There's designated campsites.
Right.
So they never came across us. So finally, they just stopped. They cleared rocks out of like a little. They were in a dried lake riverbed, and they just made camp there.
Okay. And they're not allowed to make a campfire.
No campfires.
Okay.
But they did boil water, so they must have already broke that rule.
Yeah.
But they get to the and when they have to like descend down this little bit, and then that gets to the trailhead where there's 3 different directions. So they went off in one direction, and that's what they're doing there.
I wonder why they couldn't make a fire.
Just because if it's that hot, it could spread so much faster.
Yeah, because I mean, is it like so? This isn't just.
And they might not have had a fire actually, because they camped in with real heavy bags. Like I said, they've been camping the whole way, so maybe they had like one of those little camping stoves.
Oh, like
butane, something like that. I'm sure that's what it was.
So they're in so I guess if they're in like a forest, like area, then a fire would immediately. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
And Raffi later claimed that their first mistake was simply not turning around. Like once they got down to where the trailhead started, they had the 3 paths. He says he wished they just would have turned around and looked at the landscape. But it was just full steam ahead. I mean, I couldn't imagine being in the desert. I mean, I go local. I like to hike. We go to local places here, but it's like you're never more than like a mile or 2 away from. It's like 400.
You can always
or something like that.
like you can always find your way out.
Yeah, I've been lost in North Bend, but an hour later I wasn't lost.
Yeah.
I mean, you come up to a road, something.
Yeah.
But these guys are just, they're, like I said, they're full steam ahead. They're hiking into the desert, and they get to their first campsite. And, of course, I couldn't read the map. It was pretty much useless right from the beginning. And the first night, they decided to boil hot dogs. Okay. So that goes a bottle of water right there. They boil hot dogs and corn.
I wonder why they couldn't read a map.
Have you ever seen like
a topographical?
Yeah, it's if you're not familiar with an area, I mean, how do you know where your starting point is? Like, like for the map, like I feel like the ranger maybe he did like, all right, here's where you are on this map. Like if they don't have a compass, it's not going to mean jack shit to them.
It's true.
Or they don't know how to read a compass.
You would think like I don't know in my head I would think people that are like big into I don't know if they're big into hiking, but like they clearly are interested in this.
I mean the one guy went 25 states, 10 weeks, camping and stuff.
You would think like a map would be like a natural thing that you knew how to read, you knew how to understand where you
And also psychologists later said that like during the trial Raffi has like 0 recognition skills.
Which again, so if this is
he was the leader of the 2.
If this is coming from Raffi, then we don't know if they were actually
lost. This is all Raffi's story.
Okay.
So the first night they're already off trail. They had their corn and their hot dogs, and basically when they got up the next day, like they had a little bit of water left, and they hiked back to where the trailhead was. They did make it back to that, and they finished their water there. But instead of turning left, a half-hour walk to the car about a mile away, they went right.
Okay.
And they they hiked that probably a couple miles, and then they realized what they did, so they turned around, and they made it back to that trailhead again.
All right.
And what? Okay, I'm trying to it's not so hard to describe to the listeners because they can't see a picture. But imagine you're looking at a clock, and if they're right in the middle of the clock, they need to hike towards the 3 o'clock.
So let's say they're looking up at 12.
Yeah.
So they need to
hike to 3.
To 3.
But instead they hike the 7. They go in the complete opposite direction.
Okay.
And they spend the next 3 days just going west and back, going west and back, west and back. They never it was such a there was in a part of the canyon too where they were so low they couldn't really see any landscape anyway. Not that they knew what they were looking for, according to Raffi.
So do they keep coming back to the trailhead?
Yeah, they keep coming back to that trailhead just a half a mile from the car, and they don't know. They're just they're lost. And the first day where they're lost, it does rain.
Okay.
So that helps them a little bit. They lick up, they suck the water off the rocks. They're spitting into their bottles. They find some prickly pears that they found that they could eat, so they're eating those. But they just they have to spend the night again.
And they didn't even have to boil those hot dogs either. You can just eat a hot dog.
No.
I would rather boil it.
Yeah, I've talked to people about that. I've first time I saw somebody eat a raw hot dog, I don't know what to think about now.
It's gross.
Yeah.
But if you're conserving water, these guys were way too confident.
Yeah.
That
they were just gonna come in for the night, hike back to their car.
Yeah.
I think everyone has that little bit of confidence about it. If they probably wouldn't have done it if they were scared of something.
True.
If they were thinking the things that could go wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't. Well, if this is
a couple college kids just graduating college or driving out to California, I'm sure they're in a jovial mood.
You're right. I'm being hard on Raffi and Dave. That's my fault. It's Josh bad in New Mexico
bad.
here.
Not Carlsbad. Josh bad. So the second night that they were there, they saw headlights. They thought they saw headlights. And they said, okay, and the next morning we're going to walk that direction.
Right.
Again,
good
west.
Call. Good call.
They need to go fucking east.
Not a good call.
No, not a good call at all.
Okay, back call.
So they keep walking, and it's they're trying to get up to the top of the canyon, and it's taking a lot out of them. They're out of water now. It's all that the water's gone.
Sucked all the rocks.
Yep, they sucked all the rocks. That didn't work. They would hide under bushes for shade while they could.
Yeah.
It was just the sun.
Sounds terrible.
It's I can't imagine.
Sounds like my fucking nightmare.
I can't imagine being lost too in the desert.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been lost in North Bend and it freaks me out. I've been lost other places, but to be lost out there, how do you?
I think I'd rather be lost in the cold.
Yeah, I
think
frostbite. Both of them would.
I don't know which one I'd rather have, but I feel like if you're also hot, it just makes you I just get real pissy and grumpy when I'm hot, so I'm also just mad.
You just had to move out to California, didn't you?
God damn, it's hot.
And maybe that's what happened,
right?
And because they were making journal entries too, and it would start where and most of them were made by Raffi. So Raffi really paints this story.
if you get overheated and shit, you stop thinking straight.
Yeah, and that's what they said in the stories in the documentary. Your brain misfires.
Yeah.
And it's just you don't. And for me, it would be so hard to just sit still, but they say that's what you should do. When you're lost,
but your instinct is to try to get the fuck out.
Yeah, you want to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there, especially no water, no food, or anything like that. So they just backtracked, and they tried to make it up to the top of the canyon and finally realized they couldn't. So they turned around, went back, and the sun, of course.
It's got to start to feel like you're in I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Grave Encounters, a horror movie. But they go into what the fuck is it called?
Camcorder?
Shaky cam.
Yeah, okay.
One of those. But it's like a ghost, basically like a riff on ghost hunting shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's just paranormal investigation team, and they go into this old abandoned mental hospital to stay overnight.
I did see that actually.
And then they can't everywhere they go, they just keep coming back to the exit.
Yep.
So I feel at some point you start to
all desert. That's what happened. They keep walking, and they would see the cairn of the rocks, And then they got, like Raffi said, they got so paranoid and delusional that they were like convinced that like once they were, hiking west trying to find it and would come back, like the Rangers were like just adding more piles of rocks to fuck with them.
Yeah, you've got to start being like, you got to start trying to rationalize this.
Yeah.
And you're going to come up with crazy shit.
And like buzzards started forming, they started seeing buzzards ahead. And
From what cartoons have taught me, that's not good.
And Raffi thought, they even wrote in the thing, like they both agreed they weren't going to let the buzzards get them. They thought the buzzard would start eating them before they were
actually dead, yeah.
Which apparently isn't true, but they're from fucking... how many buzzards do they come across in Boston, Like, not that many. So, yeah, they're this is... They set out August 4th, and they found Raffi August 8th, the morning of August 8th.
All right.
A half a mile from the fucking car.
Jesus.
So, during the third night, they wrote in their journal they both made suicide pacts. They both wrote letters to their loved ones, David to his girlfriend, Raffi to his family, just apologizing, and just that they tried to cut their wrist, and they were too weak, they couldn't do it. And at one point, they even tried to drink their pee. Yeah. They tried to like strain it through David's hat, and once you're there drinking your pee, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my grandpa always told me. Yeah.
But it didn't work, obviously. Like, Raffi couldn't even try it. David tried it, puked it all up. Raffi didn't even try it, And during that last night, Raffi claims that David was just sick, just throwing up to the point where, like Raffi had to pull what was getting thrown up out of his mouth and, like, throat. Because he's probably just puking up. And what turned out to be was, like, unripe pears.
This was Raffi puking?
David,
okay.
But they thought it was from dehydration.
Okay.
According to Raffi.
Right.
Again, all this is according to Raffi. David hasn't spoken on it yet because he did.
Okay.
So according to Raffi, like David was just in a lot of pain and agony. He couldn't even like lay down or sit down or anything. And he finally just begged them. Let me get to that part, actually. They actually did end up building the fire. They burned David's sleeping bag in the fire for some reason to try to start it, which is kind of weird, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like that they both had backpacks, like they would have.
I would try to burn other
clothes,
things first.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they tried to make an SOS with big heavy rocks, and that zapped a lot of their energy. And it was like they did it, but no helicopters are flying over the desert. Yeah. And some people said like, well, why weren't the Rangers looking? They signed a permit saying they're going to be there for one day. And like I interviewed the Rangers, and they said like it's 400 acres, like we can't.
Right.
Like we do that so we kind of get an idea who's in there, but it's not like, that next day at noon they're like, all right, let's go see if those guys took off. Yeah. So eventually what happened was a ranger noticed their car there for like 3 days in a row, and that was a little excessive. So that's when they finally went in to start looking for him. And of course, like I said, they made their suicide pact. They when Raffi was found, he did have like cuts up and down his arm where he would, it looked like he superficial.
Had
obviously.
tried to,
yeah. And then Raffi said that in the early mornings, David turned to him and was like, "You have to kill me." And Raffi was like, "I'm not gonna do it." And David, just kept on him like, "You have to kill me. You have to kill me." So Raffi said, finally, he stabbed him in the chest. And when he said he must have hit the lung because when he pulled the blade out, air came out with blood.
Okay.
And David was like, Raffi said, well, I have to do it again. And David was like, okay, do it. And then he said he stabbed him again, and this time he knew it was in the heart. And David said to pull the blade out, and he pulled the blade out. And David said, Raffi, according to Raffi, David thanked him.
All right.
Thanked him for doing that and said he doesn't feel pain anymore. And he died.
One of the most polite killings we've ever discussed.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So this happened 2 hours later. Rescuers found Raffi.
Of course.
They easily found him because they went from their car, hiked
they were
down
half a mile.
Yeah, they hiked down to the trailhead and they could see his tent. He like made a little makeshift tent and he was underneath there. And the ranger said he walked up and the first thing Raffi said is, "Please tell me you have water."
Uh-huh.
And he gave him his water and goes, "Well, where's your friend?" He goes, "He's over there." And he motioned towards like a mound of rocks.
He's like, "I already drank all his blood. None of it was water."
So Raffi killed him and then covered him with rocks, some weighing as much as 50 pounds.
But he was super weak from making the SOS?
Yes, but he was super weak and dehydrated and was apparently ready for death. and killed his best friend, but then couldn't do it to himself.
Also, like if you, we'll talk. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
And we'll come back to theories and stuff.
So the ranger said when he got there, like Raffi wasn't bad, but he gave him like some water. Of course, he threw up right away because that's what happens when you're dehydrated. You're supposed to just let the water kind of hit your
just
lip.
kind of sip.
Yeah, but an hour later, like he was calm and collected. Like they got him an IV, he was fine. So much so that like he was like he said he killed his friend, but that's the last thing he said about it. The Rangers kept asking him, like, what happened? He said, I want to talk to my dad. I want to talk to Raffi's parents. Like, Raffi didn't give his side of the story until months later at the trial.
Okay.
And, like, the Ranger said that he was calm and collected. He said that he's like, can't you just carry me out of here? Like, can't we just, because they were waiting for a helicopter, you know? I like to call them copters, but it was a helicopter. And he's like, well, just, the helicopter's on the way. Just chill, And before he got in the helicopter, Raffi even asked for his sunglasses.
Well, he wants to look cool for that, for that chopper ride.
But I think because in the documentary on YouTube, no one believes that like this was a mercy killing.
Yeah,
they're like, what? Like last thing I would want to do is kill my friend.
Plus, you just went through 4 days.
Yeah.
Of hell.
Yeah, and you're at the night where the sun's not even up.
Like almost literal hell because it's that hot.
Yeah. Like at one point they were like taking little pebbles and just like running them down their backs and like their arms just to make it feel like it was water.
So like you've went through all of that. You've mercy killed your best friend, and then like one of your top priorities is like I need my shades.
Yeah, it's like have them made for me.
Like there's one thing you don't know about old Raffi. Raffi's cool 24/7.
I was gonna say something else. I
don't trust that his name's Raffi either.
There's that kid singer. He makes kid songs. Raffi.
I don't know.
You wouldn't know, but he's a cool guy.
Okay. Not the same Raffi.
No, not the same Raffi.
I like Raffi from The League.
I don't watch that show.
It's a great show. You should watch it.
I will. What's Maxim say about it?
Probably 5 out of 5.
All right.
Yeah.
They're a hot girl they can put on the cover.
There's a few hot girls. Yes.
So, like I said, Raffi wouldn't talk to anybody. He said he just wanted to talk to his dad, and they arrested him.
Okay.
And he did go to trial. And like during the trial, it was brought up that like maybe it was a love triangle that finally went wrong. That like because they met through Christy again, the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And even though like David has a girlfriend, they were broken up. Like, what if during the walk like something came out that Christy like denied this on the stand at the trial. Like anything happened there, that like Dave's own family believes that like Raffi did it out of mercy. Like no one in his family's really questioning it,
Okay.
And at the end of the trial, Raffi actually pleads guilty to second-degree murder.
Yeah, because he does basically. I'm sure he's admitting.
Yeah, because
like yes, I did the act. Like I did kill him.
And it's and the Rangers Raffi claims that they burned the map, like in the fire.
Like Raffi and
David, yes, because they were so mad at it because they just thought it was the Ranger gave them a wrong map.
Okay.
So they burned it, but then later on at their first campsite, Rangers actually found a map. They can't confirm that it was Raffi and David's, because it's a map. But who else is out in the desert with that map?
Right.
And like why would Raffi say maybe did he burn it? Or did like maybe this is, I don't know. It's a crazy story. And again, like this is 99, I think.
You said 96 when it was
he got out. No, they met in 96.
Oh, they met in 96.
Yeah, this is 99. This is July and August of 99. And then in 2000, like was the trial, and he got 11 months, and he was out in November 2001.
So he's like a free dude.
Yeah, he did 11 months for killing his best friend.
He's still around.
So, did he get away with regular murders go to jail for a little bit longer than 11 months?
But like no one, so like other than, of course the prosecution, prosecutors, like no one really like that knows him thinks he did this.
Yeah, it sounds like. Just like the Rangers and like the local sheriff, thinks it's a little bit more fishy than what he's letting on. Because Because when they found him, they still had a can of beans. So they weren't even completely out of food.
Yeah.
You know, and like one of Raffi's lawyers was like interviewed on the documentary, like, well, they're beans, which are kind of salty. They drank their own piss. They're like, do we do the piss or do we do the baked beans? I don't like baked beans.
Like, look, beans.
But I would eat baked beans before I would drink piss.
Look, beans are a day 7 meal, okay?
They had hot dog buns still when they died. And like they said that they did an autopsy on David and he wasn't anywhere near death other than being stabbed.
Okay.
But, you know, but he did eat that, you know, if he really was puking up everything. And, like, he burned David's sleeping bag? Like, did something happen in the sleeping bag?
I mean, there could be, if he's going to say, I don't know, like, because, there could be blood in the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
But, like, it's obvious that somebody's been killed.
Yeah.
So, who's to say he wasn't on a sleeping bag when he killed him?
Yeah.
But, like, is there any, so you said there was, like, marks on Raffi's arms.
Yeah.
Like,
but nothing.
You said superficial.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, anything, like, that wasn't one of their concerns when they found him.
So but he definitely could have probably just, like, after he kills them, made some little cuts.
Yeah, and said that they tried to
be
do
like,
that
oh, look,
before.
we tried to do this.
Yeah, because, again, it was in the journal. You know, it wasn't David's writing that he said, you know, like, David even apologized, saying that, like, they're never going to get out of here.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't imagine being in the desert for 3 days with no water or anything. But I don't see how, like, stabbing your friend.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, so first of all, I don't quite buy into, I might be wrong, because, like, I think you'd have to, like, actually be there, like, to know, like, how you'd react. But, like, I don't see how you could go hiking and you could, like, have a point. Like, so you have the trailhead.
Uh-huh.
So you have an origin point that you can call, this is our origin point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how you just keep doing the same, the wrong way.
Going, like, just, like, hiking out west, coming back, like, cutting it a few degrees up this way or a few degrees down that way and just going that same direction.
Like, you would...
And they said, like, if they would have hiked north, they would have gotten or south would have gotten them to farmland, north would have hit, like, and all this within, like, a mile, you know, even though, like, it is where they still weren't all the way in the desert. I mean, they were just right off that trailhead, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if you're only, like, a half a mile off of that, it's...
Which are still, like, 3.5 miles from, like, the visitor center, but they were close enough to their car where they could have, you know, they could have gotten there within an hour. Or if they would have gone, like, any other direction except for kept going west, they would have ran into something, a road, farmland, or something else, you know. That would have gotten them found.
Yeah, like,
it's just like the worst luck.
I've spent a lot of time in the woods. Like, when I was younger, like, I would spend a ton of time because my dad was, like, really big into hunting. So, like, even when it wasn't hunting season, like, we'd go out so he could, like, put up tree stands or whatever. I spent a lot of time in the woods. Like, and even as a young kid, I had a general sense of, well, I came from that direction. So if I find it to be very hard to get lost. Like, you have 4 days and you can't figure out. Like, this way is not the goddamn way. Like, we need to go the opposite way. But I don't buy that it was a mercy killing.
But again, Raffi, they said that he had zero visual recognition. He can't recognize stuff. He doesn't. He can't. Like, I kind of suffer from that. You know, like, it's just. And Raffi, being the traveler, I think was probably the natural leader of the two. Like, just let's walk this way. Let's walk this way. You know. And David was probably following. And
it's weird to me though that if they don't have the strength to kill themselves with cutting.
Like, but he can move Raffi was covered with rocks. It wasn't just a couple.
Daniel or Dave.
Dave, sorry. David was completely covered in
So
rocks.
he can do that. He can, like, I've never stabbed a human being in the chest, but, like,
Put the knife down, Josh!
No, I gotta prove a point here.
Oh, you're right!
This is for the podcast.
Okay.
I feel like if I don't have the strength to take a blade and slice my wrist open, then there's no chance in hell I'm going to have the strength to plunge a knife into a man's heart. Like, I don't see how that's going to add up. Twice. And then, like, what a weird, like, once you do it the first time,
He's like, oh, I must have only got the lung. Let me try this again.
like, he's done, man.
Yeah.
Like, if he's at to the point where you're saying he's at, where you guys are malnourished, you guys are on death's bed.
Yeah. According
you're
to
doing
Raffi,
suicide
he's
notes.
puking up his guts, and Raffi has to pull him out of his mouth.
Then I'm pretty sure, like, one stab, whether you hit the lung or the heart, he's done.
I would think so. Raffi did get 15 years sentence, but was suspended with the exception of 24 months. Like I said, he served 11 months. He was out.
Huh. Well, so what do you think? You think it was a mercy killing? You think he?
Oh man, I don't know. Can he sue us? Like if this gets to Raffi, can he sue us?
No, I mean we'd have to.
Because I feel like the YouTube doc, like I said, the YouTube doc definitely leads heavily towards. There's a little bit more like something fishy going on here. But David's family, they donated a bunch of money to the technology of finding lost hikers with GPS and stuff. I mean, they've tried to make a positive out of this. They didn't even go to the trial for any of it. But like I said, they did send a letter basically saying that, like, they're devastated about the loss of their son, but they knew that, like, Raffi was his best friend. They don't think that Raffi had any malice intent.
Yeah.
I think something happened.
Yeah,
I think I don't know if it was over a love triangle, but I could just see 4 days in the desert starting to fight, starting to bicker, starting to argue. You son of a bitch, this is your fault. You made me. It's your idea to drive to California. You son of a bitch, this is your fault. You're the one that wanted to hike in this New Mexico desert.
Right.
I mean, I could see like that happening.
I mean, best I can tell, Raffi's laying low. Like, there's not a whole lot. There's a Raffi with the same last name as him that's on LinkedIn. He's a vice president, lawyer's professional liability practice leader.
That doesn't sound. I don't know how you go from wanting to be a writer to
Northeastern University, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? I wonder if that's him.
I think this is him.
Email him. Let's see if we can get him on the show.
He's in San Francisco now.
It did inspire the movie. Gus Van Sant made a movie called Jerry. It's part of his Death trilogy. It follows Elephant and Last Days, and it's on Tubi. And I made it about 10 minutes in, and I had to turn it off. This shit creeps me the fuck out, man. Being like, it's Matt Damon and Casey Affleck in the movie, and it's like the first 10 minutes, it's just them driving and walking.
Oh, so it was like a big movie then.
Yeah, it was like I think it came out 2002, pretty much right after this. Yeah, I might try to go back and watch it. I was like pretty deep into the story when I tried to watch it last night, and it was just a little too much for me because like that really like I can't imagine being that lost in the desert, and like you don't even know where you are. So how do you know where you're going? And just like, every time, like, you're like, all right, we're going to go this way, and we're going to find something. Then you don't, and you have to backtrack. And you do this day after day. And
yeah, there's a story. Maybe we'll go ahead and we'll do a story soon that this story reminds me of. But, like, the point, like, I feel like if you're going to go off on adventures, like, you need to have a level of understanding of, like, what's at stake, like what could happen.
Yeah.
Like you need to be real prepared for things, like when you're going to just venture off.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are just like wondering just wondering. These guys seem like they just kind of wandered out there. Yeah. They're like, oh, we'll be fine.
Life's been great for them. I mean,
like if the ranger
college, just they probably expected zero things to go wrong.
Like the ranger told them how much water?
Gallon each.
And they took
25%. Yeah, 3 bottles of water.
3 bottles.
And it says 2 bottles of Gatorade, but they said when they woke up after that first night, they were eager to get back to the car to get that bottle of Gatorade. So I don't think they had all the Gatorade
they didn't even take
with
that.
them.
Yeah.
They had 3 bottles of water. And that was gone the second day. And the first day, because they got there so late that first night, and, they hiked for just an hour or two to get the set up camp, and then they were just, all right, let's get back to the car and drive on to California.
I don't know. My guess would be that, there was he didn't intend.
Like, I don't think it was like a long con.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're going to start this trip, and then I'm going to, because it was Dave's uncle's idea to go to New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I feel like they got lost, started fighting with each other, probably 2 days of just, fucking
Could you imagine me and you if we were lost in the desert?
Yes.
I mean, we kind of have like this banter where we give each other shit. Yeah. But it's like, buddy. Like I could really see that going away quickly.
If it's 100 and some degrees.
Yeah.
I promise you, you don't become a human to me.
I would do like the wrong pun at the wrong time.
104 degrees. I'm lost. I don't have any water.
No shade.
I'm losing my humanity real fast. That's
pretty much it. I mean, it's there's not much. I guess there is some mystery, but we know who killed him. He admitted it. He served his 11 months.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like his story isn't accurate.
Yeah, and it's only his story.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's maybe they were. I think definitely just.
I mean, in our opinion, these are our opinions.
Yeah, I think it was a little more than just him begging him to stab him.
Right.
I think something happened, and even then, like, does he deserve to go to jail for 30 years if it didn't go down the way he said exactly? If it was just they get in an argument because their brains are, the pistons are misfiring, they're delusional, they're paranoid. Like, they think the Rangers are fucking with them, according to Raffi. They think the Rangers are, like, in the desert, moving piles of rocks, giving them wrong maps. I mean, they're blaming everybody but themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you said, like, the Rangers were saying that he seemed kind of fine, like, after...
hour later, he's, he's asking for his sunglasses.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. That kind of, like, takes away the whole...
Yeah, you killing your best friend that's,
on the
like,
brink
a
of
brother to you.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if he did it, out of anger or whatever, like, he got away with it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he did 11 months in prison, but.
Yeah.
That's a lot less than what other people have done for murder.
And if it wasn't out of anger, if it was actually a mercy thing, like, man, what a shitty thing you got to carry.
Yeah,
for the rest of your life.
And even if it wasn't mercy and something did happen, that's still something. Oh,
you're still carrying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had to go through that experience of, like, your best friend being like, like, I can't keep doing this. You have to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's not an easy thing to. I find.
Are you asking me that right now?
Let me get that knife back. Yeah. I do find it weird that he would, like, go to the I need my sunglasses thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I can't imagine myself in any part of this scenario.
Yeah.
Like, lost in the desert. Like.
I wouldn't go to the desert. Fuck no. Like.
And then they didn't even see the caverns because they got there so late. They just, they hiked in, set up camp, and then just hiked right back out.
I've seen way too many cartoons about the desert.
Yeah.
Never looks fun.
Yeah, what's that, quicksand. You can just get eaten up by quicksand any time.
Mirages.
Yep. That happened to them. I'm glad you said that. They, at one point, they said that really, like, kind of got them, like, upset with each, because they each thought they saw, like, balls of water, like, off in the distance. And they would go to get them, and they wouldn't be there. And they were just getting more and more frustrated, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but really, that's what I've always heard is if you're lost, and if you're listening, I agree with this too, like, just stay where you are. If they would just stayed where they were, I mean, they wouldn't have given up. It might have been 4 days in the desert, but they wouldn't have used all that energy.
Man, it'd be hard, though.
Yeah.
It'd be so hard to just be like, let's just stay here.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to start thinking, like, no one's coming from us.
Yeah.
Like,
they were thinking, they thought the permit meant, like, all right, the Rangers will be here. That's why they did the fire, too. Because they're like, all right, we start a fire, someone's going to come. Because that's against the rules,
Like, I think that would have been more of my go-to. Like, day 3.
Yeah.
And we're just fucking lost or whatever. Like, I'm setting this whole goddamn place on fire. Somebody's going to find us.
They got to put a fire out with water. Water's going to make me feel better.
Yeah,
let's do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they could have went back to the riverbed and dug. If you just start digging, you're going to hit water, I think. Probably.
Get some sort of wet.
Could be completely wrong about that. Yeah. I'm no scientist.
I say we go to the desert and we do some hiking.
Well, all right. We'll do a live. It'll be a last episode. We'll do it live.
One of us is coming back.
One of us is coming back.
It'll be me.
I mean, I hate walking.
So that's what I'm saying. It'll be me.
I have bad knees and a bad back, so you definitely have the advantage.
All right.
I think I might be better when it comes to bad situations.
Yeah.
I probably have a more level head.
I think I would definitely be. Again, it's so hard to put yourself in that scenario. But I think, like you said, I don't think I could sit still either. I think I would just have that mentality of just like head down and forward.
Because sitting down feels like
giving up.
At some point, it feels like you're just gonna like. How long do I sit here till I just stop existing?
Yeah.
Like I got to keep moving. I got to keep trying to find.
The fucking sun just
that's
beating down.
Yeah. That's the fucking drive you mad.
Good story, right?
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right.
I didn't know the story.
Oh, really?
Like, I know Carlsbad from something. I don't know if it's like maybe a place on a TV show or a movie.
Is that in Breaking Bad?
I've never watched Breaking Bad, so. But that might be it's like in Albuquerque, I think. Right. Albuquerque.
I should have made a left in Albuquerque.
All right. Well, since you brought the story,
that was also my feel good.
Well, I got this week. I've got a feel good.
You do?
So play that music.
Feels good.
Feels good. All right.
I got to trademark that. I realized today I say that 100 times every day at work because I'm giving people their glasses. I'm like, how's that feel? Feels good. And I'll say, feels good?
It's catchy. It is catchy. If we were going to have if we had like a catchphrase t-shirt thing, I think it'd have to be feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Middle aged and mediocre. Feels good.
There you go.
All right, so let's throw your feel good at me.
So this, it was kind of difficult to find. Like, there's nothing new. Like we were saying, not a whole lot of newsworthy things happening. So I dug and I found a pretty good story. It's from December 10th of 2020. So just recently happened, and this takes place in Brainerd, Minnesota. It's spelled Brainerd. So it's like brain nerd, almost. Brainerd, Minnesota.
Brainerd? I hardly know her.
This was posted on Today.com.
Okay.
And the headline for this article was over 900 cars paid for each other's meals at the Dairy Queen drive-thru. So,
I would hate to be working the drive-thru that day.
So
Dairy Queen drive-thru's the worst too, just for the record.
The ones here, like I don't know.
I won't go through them.
Dude, Dairy Queens in general are the worst restaurants usually.
They like tear them down and rebuild them while you're in line at the drive-thru.
So the holidays are a time of giving, of course, and the spirit was in full effect at a Dairy Queen in Brainerd, Minnesota, where more than 900 customers participated in a pay-it-forward chain. According to General Manager Tina Jensen,
Where is this at again? I'm sorry, Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay. Brainerd, Minnesota.
I was going to say, this is the widest thing I've ever heard.
It's funny that I found this story because something just happened. Like this just happened to me. Like a few days ago.
No one's ever paid it forward to me.
Twice now.
Oh, you fucking bastard!
So like I wanted to kind of bring it up anyways, and then I found this. So,
all right.
According to General Manager Tina Jensen, the chain stretched over the course of nearly 3 days. So it started on Thursday, December 3rd, during the store's lunch rush, and it ended on the evening of Saturday, December 5th.
If you're eating lunch at Dairy Queen, just end it.
Just what are you doing, man?
Just drive off a cliff.
How long of a lunch break do you get?
Are you working at the Dairy Queen? So you're like already there, and you're like, I'll have lunch here.
A gentleman, this is Tina speaking. A gentleman during our lunch hour came through and said he'd like to pay for his meal in the car behind him. Then the next car pulled up, and we said, the gentleman in front of you paid for your meal. If you like, you can pay it forward. And then
they put that shit on him? Trying to guilt him into it.
So then she said, I find that part.
Yeah, that just the fact that they said, if you would like to pay it forward.
Yeah. So the lady said, yeah, of course. Didn't ask any questions, just said, yeah, go for it. So then Jensen, she manages 2 different Dairy Queen stores in Brainerd. So Brainerd loves it. Apparently Dairy Queen's a big fucking deal in this town. She said that the event led to about $10,000 in sales. And in the past week, she has seen pay it forward chains in the drive-thru that last for about 15 or 20 cars. But nothing like, this.
Yeah.
She said after getting
900 cars.
She said after getting
$10,000 for 900 cars.
$10,000.
How much fucking Dairy Queen are these people getting? Hi, I'd like a Blizzard and 10 stocks item, or stocks in the company, please.
I mean, if you get once you get more than one Blizzard, you might as well you got to schedule your whole day around getting those Blizzards. She said after getting through the lunch hour, there was still about 100. It was still going, and over 100 cars. Like they went through 100 cars during the lunch hour, and that's when she was like, "Oh, this is a thing."
Yeah.
So before she left for the day, she instructed her employees to let her know if anything happened to end if it ended.
Yeah.
And she said at the end of each shift, she would post an update on the restaurant's Facebook page, and it pretty quickly caught the attention of social media people on social media.
Yeah.
She said that people were posting about it on different pages. The word started to spread, and she said that they heard a few times, "Oh, I've seen this happening on Facebook. I wasn't sure if it was still going on or not." And they'd tell them like, "Hey, you're the 300th car. Like you're now this car, whatever." And she said it started to get like people were really excited about it. And she said it wasn't just those in line at Dairy Queen lending a hand. She said at least one person called the restaurant and asked to just go ahead and put money on a gift card that could be used in case a car pulled up and they couldn't pay it forward.
Why would a car pull up and not be able to pay for it?
If they could just pay for their meal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, she said there'd be times where people would order a $5 Blizzard, like just $5 Blizzard, and then the car behind them, though, would be like a full family getting like $30 or $40 for food. So she said to keep the chain going, you've got to make sure that somebody's going to be paying it forward. She's like, so that's what we did with the gift card. Like, there was money on the gift card, so if somebody did that, they'd be like, that's fine. Like, we're going to, gift card it. So, we're keeping it going.
They're doing a lot of work to keep this going.
Said by the time the chain came to an end on Saturday evening, when a customer couldn't pay for the party behind them and the gift card funds had ran out, she said that her and her staff were like super pumped about this whole thing, though. She said it was an awesome time. She said they were encouraging the attitude when people were coming through, and the energy was just really good to see. She said since March, a lot of things have changed. There's a lot going on.
There is?
And she said it was definitely an uplifting experience, and there was no negative energy like all throughout it. So
I'm being a real dick.
Over 900 cars.
That's insane.
Over like 3 days. So 3 days. So
like I've thought about that, like I've been in line like payday, and like I'll see like the one person behind me, but then I'm like, what if they're ordering for like their office lunch, and like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of old grandma back there. It's like, all right, well, she's got $47 worth of food.
So this is like I said, I've been in 2 of these.
Wow.
And like, allow me to explain how the mind of someone with fucking anxiety handles this. So the first time was a few years back. I went through the McDonald's and the traffic circle here in town. All I wanted was a sweet tea. It was like early in the morning. I was heading into work. I just wanted a sweet tea, and I can tell that like the people in front of me, there's like conversation happening between the drive-through person and the people. Like
I hate that
you
shit.
can tell there's something happening.
Give their money. Give their
so
change. Go on.
When I pull up, she says like, "Oh, the person in front of you paid for your meal." Or for your order, and like I immediately put together like, so this is a thing. Like that's why they've been kind of talking because.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, well, I can't be the fucking asshole that just goes, okay, thanks, cool. I gotta pay for this shit now.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, I'll go ahead and get the person behind me then. So again, $1 sweet tea.
Yep.
The person behind me had ordered $27 worth of food.
Jesus.
So
Christ.
I paid $27.
I feel like the person in front of you and the person behind you were in that together.
Maybe.
Yeah, they were waiting for you.
Yeah, so it got me. But again, like my anxiety immediately spiked, and I was like, I can't not be the person.
Yeah.
Like I've got to get whatever the fuck it's gonna cost me. I
would
guess.
just be like, okay, thanks, and take off.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't be that person.
Yeah. I live to be that
what
person.
if they, they're going to talk about me?
Yeah.
They're going to say bad things about me.
What if the McDonald's people I'll never see again in my life don't like me?
Yeah.
I get that part too.
Yeah.
But I'm way past
What
that.
if?
I don't give a fuck.
So that was the first time. And then just the other day, left work, went through Burger King to get dinner or whatever. And like the order was like 12 something. And she said the people in front of you got it. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, well, fuck, like, let me go ahead and grab whoever's behind me then.
Yeah.
And like my order was like $12.50-ish something.
Uh-huh.
And then she said, okay, it'll be like 14.
That's
so
not
this
as
time,
bad.
well, yeah. But, it's just like like that 300, like, because that was, who knows how many cars. The 2 times I was in it.
But they didn't ask you if you wanted to pay it forward.
That part's, yeah, like that part would, like, I think if they asked me, it would give me an easier way to say no, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I hate when anyone asks you for anything extra than what you present.
Like,
them.
you want to pay? Would you like to give $1 to the whatever?
Yeah.
And you can put your name on
or
the
like a
star.
family dollar. Like, would you like to buy a Snickers and help us in our contest? Like, no. If I wanted a Snickers, there'd be a fucking Snickers up there.
Yeah. Do I get?
Not trying to be a dick, but
do I get to have a share of the contest winnings?
Yeah.
But
my daughter always is like, she buys it every time. She's like, yeah, let's get a Snickers, Dad, to help it. I'm like,
dude,
right.
I do every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you need like $1 or something from me, like I'm like, yeah, here. I can't, like.
I mean, you talk to me, so.
I just feel like, I don't know, like, but to be the 2 times I've been in them, probably, like they said, like 15, 20 cars, if that many. Like, I'd be surprised if I got up to like 10.
Yeah.
But like, if you're like, this is happening in your town, and you're like, oh, there's like 200 some car. Like, this is like, they're posting on Facebook, like, say our Dairy Queen down here, like, this is happening. Like, first of all, avoid that goddamn Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Because, okay, well, I don't want to be a part of this.
The traffic's going to be insane.
But if you are a part of it, like, and you're, say, car, so they have 300 people.
Yeah.
When you're how did that experience go for that 300th person? Because they pull up and they're like, oh, hey, we've been doing this for 3 days.
Yeah.
We've kept it going for 3 days. Over about 299
people have just called in and donated money.
No, not 300, 900.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
People have called in to donate money just to keep it going.
The
person in front of you just paid for yours.
Number 899.
Yeah.
Just paid for yours, number 900. So, would you like to pay it forward? And you're just like, I fucking don't. I got $2. I just need.
I don't have to buy mine.
I just needed that $1.99 dilly bar. Yeah. That's all I needed.
I needed that hot dog. Don't even boil it. Just give it to me.
You got to feel like a real asshole if you're that person.
Or not.
Like you rode a 3-day streak.
Yeah.
Of 900 people.
I like ruining things. I want to talk to this 900th car.
Yeah, that's who we need to interview.
Yeah.
If you're out there listening and you're in Brainerd, Minnesota, if you know somebody that is, please, we would like to talk to the 900th person and like to know what was going through your mind.
I hate the pressure that manager is putting on people. It wouldn't have gotten past me. I'd have been like, that's really cool. I mean, I didn't ask him to pay for my food, so I'm going to take this. I mean, I've been waiting in line for a half hour because it's goddamn Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Like, the fries are going to be cold if you get food.
That's the crazy part, that they got 900 cars through that drive-thru in 3 days.
Yeah. Were they open 24 hours?
I don't know. Because, I mean, our Dairy Queens around here,
they're so short.
900,
you get one thing, and it just
900 cars. That's a year and a half worth of of open time. All right, so that was my feel good.
That was a good feel good.
I mean, people.
I don't mean to shit all over it.
You certainly did, though.
I'm in a mood tonight. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to take you to the desert and kill you, and then not pay it forward at Dairy Queen.
We don't gotta go to the desert, man.
Okay.
That feels like a lot of effort.
Josh was like, I don't know if I can make it to the bathroom, man. You just want to kill me? And I was like, I guess I can kill you. And I brought my knife.
They're like, well, yeah, that sounds like him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, remember we still have a contest going on.
Yeah, the contest.
So all you got to do to enter is go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/middle-aged and mediocre, and the top post on there, it's pinned to the top of the page. All you got to do is like that post and leave a comment, and you will be entered in to win a game from Hunt a Killer. It's the Death the Dive Bar game. Brand new.
Factory sealed.
Uh-huh.
We're not just giving you something that's already ours.
That Joel sealed up with his sealing machine.
Yeah. That's what I call my dick.
Yes. And you also...
I sealed it so good.
It smells weird. But along with that, you'll get a one-of-a-kind painting of our artwork. Like our show's artwork. Yeah, logo. You'll get like a personalized thing from myself and Joel.
And the Spotify.
And like a Spotify play, like a episode title card.
Yeah, framed up.
Framed up. So And then we have a couple, runner-ups.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the word. I kept wanting to say like losers.
We've said a lot of words so far. We're running out.
We have a few runner-up we'll give away too, which you'll get the Spotify title card, a personalized thing from myself and Joel, and probably something extra. We don't know what yet, but so all you gotta do is go to facebook.com/middleaged and mediocre.
Please do this.
Yeah, top post, just like it, comment, and then make a post where you tell people, if you will, to go and like our stuff.
Yeah, help us out if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, we want to give away more stuff, but
apparently people are listening.
Yeah.
No, I mean, prove it, motherfuckers.
Yeah, we got we got some listeners. So we got some people that have been sticking with us. So we want to give away stuff. That'd be awesome to be able to give away stuff on a regular basis. But we got to have some.
I would definitely like to have some more back and forth between us and our listeners, and just some more. Stuff like this going on.
Yeah, so even if you don't want to enter the contest, leave a comment. Let us know what's going on with you.
Yeah, just let us know your
say
favorite
hi.
episode. Just say something nice to us, something mean to us.
The mean stuff's fun, too.
Yeah, we say mean shit to each other all the time.
Yeah.
You stupid fuck.
Yeah. You bald motherfucking bastard.
Oh! You went right for it.
It's right there.
It's right there at the top. It is.
I can see myself in it. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating. Because Joel's a 5-star man on Animal Crossing.
Yep, that's right.
So we should also be a 5-star podcast,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
And leave a comment. Or not, a review.
Yeah.
On Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
How's your Animal Crossing? Still 5 stars?
Oh, yeah, still 5 stars. It won't go down.
All right. Because I was worried that, like,
I might move my museum to a different spot, and then that'll set up another area to really do some
big
stuff.
risk.
I know.
Big risk. What's your museum got?
Everything. I got all the fossils. There's some fish in there.
All of the fossils.
I've got all the fossils. All the It's a real museum. You can walk around, look at stuff. There's dinosaurs. There's fish, shark, things like that. Bugs. You find
Sounds
stuff
like
around
a zoo.
Yeah, you find stuff around the island. And you take it to Blathers, the owl that runs the museum.
Of course.
And then if he doesn't have it in there, you donate it to him. And if he does, you take it and sell it for bells.
Bells are is that the currency?
Yeah, that's the currency. I had 300,000 bells on my house.
Shitload
and then
of
that's
bells.
paid off finally. Because you start with one room, then you get a second room, then you get a third room, then you get a fourth room, then you get it upstairs, then you get it downstairs.
Wouldn't that be crazy if that's the way that houses actually work?
Yeah. Like, you pay this off, we'll
like, you start out, you're like, all right, man,
I wish life was more like Animal Crossing.
$1,000 for this 1-bedroom house.
Uh-huh.
All right, and, let's see how you do for a couple years and see if you can earn this second room.
Pay it off, we'll build that second room for you.
That'd be crazy as shit. Well, I'm glad you're still 5 stars.
Yeah,
I'm glad you haven't lost it. I was kind of worried that some people would hear this and be like, let's go purposely fuck this guy.
Oh, they can't do that. I have to open my gates for people. They have to be my friends on Nintendo.
Dude, you open your gates for anyone who looks at you.
Yeah, that's right. They might have to grease the hinges a little bit.
Don't act like those gates aren't swinging open.
They might have to grease the hinges a little bit, if you know what I'm saying.
I do, and I don't like it. Okay, you got anything else?
I'm all out.
All right, as always, follow us.
Hey, be good to each other, guys.
Yeah, just Jesus Christ, how much more can we...
Don't be a stupid motherfucker. Just be good to each other. Don't kill your best friend in the desert.
Unless they really want you to.
Yeah, and don't go through the Dairy Queen drive-thru.
Yeah, Jesus. If you hated this episode, we are sorry, and we'll do better next time. Until then, good night, goodbye. We love you. We love you.
I like you as friends.